All right. We are back for another open court discussion live in the Counselor's Corner. I'm your host, David Lorenzo Glover, aka the Controversial Counselor. Joining me is my co-host, the Big Bad Wolf, Herb Lewis. All right. Join us join us tonight, Monday, November 11th at 9 p.m. EST as we discuss the dating minimum wage part 2. Last Monday we covered communication, emotional support, effort, and respect. On part 2 tonight we will be covering shared values, physical connection, reliability, personal growth, and red flags. The question we want to know is whether you're settling for mediocrity or demanding the respect and love you deserve. Please like and share our video, and don't forget to tell a neighbor to tell a neighbor to subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Controversial Counselor. 926 subs, getting closer one sub at a time. Watch us work. Okay, my people, we're here. Happy Veterans Day. And thank you all for your services who enlisted and was part of the military. So I hope everybody had a great day off. My school district doesn't celebrate that Veterans Day, so I don't know how that is, but I guess that's for the big wigs to decide that. I don't know how. I always question it, but that's that. So I had work, full day of work. That's about it. That's about it.
That's
Much more stuff to
wild. I've
come.
never heard of something like that.
Yeah, we celebrate Jewish holidays. Like we don't have, I don't know, what's the new Columbus Day called?
Uh, uh, jeez.
Indigenous,
Indigenous Peoples Day.
yeah,
Yeah, Indigenous Peoples Day.
yeah. So we don't have that off either. They celebrate like, and then we don't even have those days off like Yom Kippur. Yeah, I don't know. Always be funny be saying Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah. So
Yeah.
so the kids have those days off, and we usually have professional development. We used to have them off, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't know. Above my pay grade.
Oh boy.
What's
I ain't
going
got
on with
much
you?
going on, man. I just essentially emptied out my living room, man. The table and everything. Took out the China cabinet. I just have a shelf because I'm getting ready to get a wood pellet stove installed. So I don't want anything on the floor because I'm gonna essentially take all the carpet that's in my home out except for what's in here, and I'm gonna resurface and restain all the wood floors in here and bring it back to what it was when it was originally built. But other than that, man, there's not much going on. Still stuck in the 250 range in terms of my weight, but I haven't gained any, which is always good for me. Um, I got nothing else to report, man. Making out an itinerary for next year. I want to throw this out there for the listening folks too, especially the ones that are in the counselor's corner. We often discussed a meet and greet where we would actually record a live show and we broadcast that. So for those of you who might be inclined to actually come to Niagara Falls for 2-3 days or whatever it is we decide on, would you be in favor of that? And what would you like to do? Just give Dave a shout inbox or drop it in the group or me an inbox and let us know.
Hey Daphne, how you doing? All right. Yeah, that would be cool to get together. I mean, y'all been going at each other necks for years in the counselor's corner. It's time for people to show face. Y'all won't show face on here, half of y'all. So maybe y'all bring y'all scary asses to Niagara Falls. We promise not to throw y'all over there, but Daphne said she wants some good food.
Well, hey, the menu was open. We know I don't set the menu, so I mean, we can always get something catered. I know Bobby Anderson, who was showcase, I suppose I could use the word, with I can't remember the gentleman's name. I just really can't believe I drew a blank. Gordon Ramsay. So he's around, and I'm sure he would be more than willing to put his name to this. We can get him to put something together. I mean, it all depends on what people decide. We can find a location, or we could do it in a public park. There's a lot of different things that we can do. So, I mean, people who have never been to this region of the United States or New York, Toronto's only an hour away. Toronto has a vibrant nightlife. So if people want to slide over there and check out Toronto or whatever else, I mean, the list is endless. The possibilities really, it's all predicated on, it will all be predicated on what people want to do, and the suggestions that they give. So food, all of that is open.
All right. So again, if that's something y'all want to do, maybe have to put out a survey or something and get some feedback, and then start sort of like a needs assessment, and then sort of like start building a program based off of that.
Yeah.
That's that. So, again, last week we, kind of went at it, had lengthy conversations regarding communication, emotional support, effort, respect. So we're gonna lead off with tonight with shared values. So, Big Bad Wolf, what does that look like when you think about having a shared values, or how important is that with a lady, if you were trying to move to that phase with her?
That is going to be, as far as I'm concerned, that will be the bedrock of the relationship. Whether it's religion, frequency of sex, boundaries. I mean, the list is virtually endless. I mean, just about anything that can cause a disruption between the two people in that relationship, that's a value. A lot of people think values are something that an individual has, that they put out on display or they talk about, and everybody else has to adhere to them. People might have values that are misaligned, and in order for the relationship to move forward, there has to be some type of compromise on those values. Like I talked about the math portion, people want to talk about 50-50, 60-40. No, it's 100-100. That's the only math I deal in. So if individuals get together, no matter what point in the relationship that is, the values that you agree upon that the relationship is going to be predicated on have to align in some way. So, and I'll use myself for instance. I don't do religion. I'm not going to church. So if a female that I happen to bed down with wants to go to church and she wants her partner to go to church, we got a problem. We got a huge problem, especially when it comes to football season, because I ain't moving. It's not negotiable. It's not subject for debate. It's not up for discussion. That's just an NO. Now, if you want to sit and talk about religion, we can do that, but I'm not going to church. Sorry. That's just the way it is, as the song goes. That is just the way it is. Now, kids, that's another sticking point, especially if you plan on getting married and you plan on having children. What's the discipline look like? We're going to private public schools. Are we going to live in this district, or are we going to move somewhere else? I mean, who's doing the dishes? Who's working more? When the mother gets pregnant, what does maternity look like? Who's gonna do midnight feedings? Is she gonna be responsible for the household chores? Because, like I said before, the only thing in the relationship, in terms of roles, for me, as far as I'm concerned, that need to be considered, is a man's gonna get the woman pregnant, and she's gonna carry the child to term. Anything else needs to be discussed, and that's what a lot of people don't do early on in a relationship. I remember the last time I dated a female. Before we did anything, I broached the topic of marriage immediately. And she said she didn't want to get married. Cool. I know where she stood. Now, our values didn't necessarily align on marriage. I would have liked to have been married. She didn't want to, but that was something I could compromise on. Clothing for me is another big thing. There are some articles of clothing, as I've often mentioned, I don't like unless certain criteria is going to be met. And I'm not going to discuss those. So if anybody thinking they're going to get the drop on the wolf, sorry, I'm not giving that up. That's trade secret. Y'all you're not hacking that. So I mean, but
hold up, man. hold up. So you're gonna drop that information, but you're not gonna tell at least one item or something that
well, we already know that I don't like camel. We already know that I don't like camel clothing on women. That's a given. So anything that's camouflage, if you ain't military, don't wear that shit. And on Veterans Day, because I think it's disrespectful to those who serve. So camos is out, bonnets is definitely out. You can't. I see a chick in a bonnet outside. She can't even approach me.
But
you okay for anything?
But you okay with them? Because we're speaking on women. You okay with them women that's rocking those J's with cankles?
No. You know what the funny thing? And I see a lot more women wearing sneakers. If you're wearing sneakers with leggings or tights and you're going to do something, or if that's your the way you dress daily, I can overlook that. But if that's what you wear every day because quote unquote they're comfortable, so even if we go to a restaurant, you're wearing tights. Even if we go to an event, you're wearing tights. I'm just like, yo, you got to change up. You got to change up a wardrobe. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it, and some people they're gonna dislike me, and they might even clip this, but that's a lazy way of dressing. Sorry, can't do it. Not gonna pass the muscle with me. You have to be able to reach in your closet and pull out some slacks, pull out some jeans on occasion. And I'm not even a fan of jeans and heels, but I would rather you have jeans and heels, whether they're open toe or closed toe, than just some leggings all the goddamn time, black leggings. Because I don't. Sorry, man. I just my thing. Because I said, and I put this on record, that I will search through a woman's wardrobe. And you know what? I'm gonna go prove a point too. I'm gonna be right back after I drop this. I'm gonna let you take over. I have been known to go out and buy clothes for women. So I'm not above doing that. So for any woman that tries to come at the wolf's neck, just so you know, yes, I do drop coin for clothes for women that I deal with. So she ain't got nothing to say, but okay. She ain't got nothing to do but go put on what I get, and we can move on. I'll be right back. I'll go grab you what I secured for a female not long ago.
Ooh-wee. Let me read Anita Baker's comment, and this was back when we were talking about the gathering. She said, "Peak Apron, was it caters, small black woman owned business. She cooks some bomb ass greens, barbecue chicken, mac and cheese, barbecue ribs, etc." Sounds good. Sounds good. I just hope them ribs is beef ribs. Other than that, I don't want it. I don't want it. Not the rib portion.
No. So people, I know y'all gonna be up in arms. So I'm gonna let you see for yourself. This is the skirt portion. All right, split in the back. All right. This is the halter top portion. Yes, the arms stick out. And to accentuate what she has, I brought her, it's difficult to see, but a waist belt. Julia has an accent. So when I say I do things, I do things. So just be known that when I say I don't like certain things and I'm here to upgrade your wardrobe, I'm here to upgrade your wardrobe. And yes, you can keep it. You can wear whatever whenever you want to with whatever man you want to. I don't care. It's yours. You do what you want to with it, whether we stay together or not. But I'm sorry, if I'm gonna look the part, then the female that I'm rolling with, she gotta look the part.
So you got those items. Is your intent to give it to someone, or you stopped talking to her before you gave it to her?
Without getting too involved in the details, there was a detour in the road with this individual, and she went back home, let's just say. So unfortunately, she's not going to see it. Somebody else that can fit it, I'll probably just gift it to him. No strings attached. I can't wear it, so what am I going to do with it? I'm not going to send it back. So it's a gift, but they have to be the right size.
Okay.
And before the question's asked, you have to be smaller than a size 8. Yes, that's how I give it up.
So you said that you wouldn't deal with a woman that's bigger than a size 8.
Oh no, I have. That's size is not an issue to me, and I'm not gonna get into why. But I've dated heavier women. I've enjoyed my time in excursions with heavier women. I've dated women that have weighed as much as 160 pounds, but she was rather on the tall side. She's about 5'8", so, and she had kids. So I always factor things into that, and that's another one of those values, people don't discuss. And you just mentioned beef ribs, food. Are you dating a vegetarian? Are you dating somebody who has a strict lifestyle? So you can't bring no pork in their house and cook it, because I'll be damned if somebody fries some food in this house. That ain't happening. So no fried food gets made in this house. No pork gets made in this house. Beef I might overlook, but hey, those are the things that people don't talk about. Do you like the room warm? Do you like the room cold? Can you deal with somebody that snores? I've been told I snore. I snore like a 10.
You said you've been told. You know if your ass snore.
I'm too damn sleep to hear myself snore. Thor has come down and said, "Yo, man, I'm trying to make it thunder and lightning, dude. People can't hear me because you snoring." So I mean, all those things, man. They need to be discussed. Are we going? If because we're later in life, so by the time most of the people get to our age, our mid to late 40s, early 50s, people probably will have acquired property. So are we going to move into your house? Are we going to move into her house? Are we going to rent one of our places out, or are we going to sell our respective places? Are we going to go into a home together? Or if one is renting and the other owns, is that person going to give up their lease, to where they rent to move in? All of this stuff should be discussed, but because people are too scared that somebody's going to say no, or they're going to lose the good thing, they're afraid to discuss these things. And me personally, I don't know why. I don't know why somebody would be so fearful as to not want to discuss what ultimately is going to need to be discussed. It's important. It is vitally important. So, does she like reality TV? Does she like to cuddle? Does she like to perform certain sex acts? Does she like not? Does she not like certain sex acts? Because I know some people will be like, he don't like what? Well, she don't like what? What do you mean? All these things. I tell you, as a man that's 52, that's running to women across the spectrum who like certain things, who don't like certain things. But see, I don't. Let me read what Daphne said. She said, "You must be careful with people because the reps can withstand the normal wait time." See, with me, I don't deal with reps. Reps see me coming, they run. They say, "Oh no, that's a wolf. He ain't got time to deal with reps." And God damn it, I need to get this book out because I'll tell you how. Because in the book, I tell you how to disseminate with somebody's representative, and the way you deal with somebody's representative is you're direct. And being direct with controversial things allows you to just walk through anybody's representation, anybody's representative that they have, because there are certain things known to people that nobody can't fake. If you ask somebody about their kids, if they have them, and you make a statement about kids that they find offensive, you're not going to be dealing with a representative. You're going to be dealing with them. And the same thing holds true for anything else that strikes a nerve that gets an emotional response out of the individual you're sitting across from, which more than likely you're going to get because most people can't withstand, like you said, they can't withstand that normal wait time. So they're going to say, oh, hell no, who do you think this is? Especially if you're a male. Ask a chick to go Dutch. Ain't no wait time. You go find out just what kind of woman you got on your hands. I'm telling you now. It can be any of that. Anita says the things to chat about what the conflict resolution looks like, temper and relationship with the parents. What if the parents are dead? What if they have no temper? Or what if the temper is only displayed at certain times? Because I'm very level-headed. For me to display anger, somebody had to do some real jacked up shit. And then when I say real jacked up, I mean some real jacked up shit that that potentially put me in harm's way, or that's crossed the boundaries of one of my 5 things. And that's you can't mess with my food, my money, my time, my emotions, and my family. Anybody that does that, I mean extreme hostility to you. But above all, the one thing somebody can't do, or the 2 things, lie to me and lie on me.
So when you say mess with your food, that goes back to what you said years ago, that if you're out on a date with someone and she decides to reach over with her fork and says, "Oh, that piece of let me have a that piece of steak looks good. It looks tender." And decides to stick her fork in it. Then you said you terminating the date.
Yeah, right there on the spot. On the spot. She violated.
That's just a gesture of
She violated.
a connection.
She violated.
She's vibing with you
Mhm.
if that's the case.
She vibed her last vibe. She played her last key on the piano. That's a no go. That's a no fly zone. Just sorry. Hall & Oates said no can do I. I can't go for that.
So that must be in the dating stage, because I can't imagine if y'all was, if you chilling at her house or she at your house and y'all, cuddling, watching a game or something, and you had some like appetizers on your plate, and she decided to take one of your wings.
Nah, oh hell no. Nah. Oh hell no.
Come on, man.
I see this is why I do what I do. I ask, do you want some? If the individual says yes, how many do you want? I'll get them, put them on your plate, put them on your tray table, along with your beverage, blue cheese or ranch, whatever your proclivity is, and I expect you to eat from your dish. because you're not eating from mine. I'm not feeding you from mine. It's my food. I went and got it, and if I prepared it, you really ain't getting none. Now, if I went and bought some wings and we eating out of the same dish, yeah, go ahead, knock yourself out. But if I got a plate, nah, go in and get your own. Especially if I ask, sorry, can't do that. Can't do it. Ain't gonna do it. I'm not even gonna think twice about it. Nope.
So she can't pick up if you had your pineapple Ciroc and say, "Let me see what this tastes like." It
Oh hell no.
sipped on it. She can't do that either.
Go get your own.
Ooh-wee.
I'm like Bugs Bunny in that cartoon. Mine. Oh, mine. You can't have, sorry. You'll get you home. I'll go make you one. You know, you want what I'm drinking? Okay, I'll make you one. But you can't drink from mine. No.
All righty.
But those are the things you want to discuss. Because if you're the type of woman that likes picking up your man's plate because you don't eat a lot, you got a problem. Especially if he's like me. No. Go get your one. I don't care if you don't eat a lot. You won't be eating nothing if you wait for me. You're waiting to pick off my plate. Nope. Drinking, nope. Go get your own. I don't know what you've been doing. I don't know who you've been doing it with. The only person I've been with is you. You can tell me anything. Because we know how many people out here running around with side pieces, side dudes, doing things on the low. Nah. You might be drinking after somebody after work. You might smoke a cigarette after somebody after work, which I can't stand. Another thing is smoking and drug use. You know, that's something that's rarely discussed. And I know marijuana in certain states are legal. I prefer not to have my mate smoke. Now, with that said, I know some people are dealing with anxiety, and that's a medical treatment that I'm willing to overlook. Because more often than not, people aren't chain smoking who have some issues with smoking or who smoke marijuana. Let me not say they have some issues with smoking marijuana, who smoke marijuana. I know an individual like that. And as he said it to me, I said, no. I said, that's fine. I said, I understand. But it's the consistent and incessant smoking to where when I walk into your house, that's all I smell. When I get into your car, that's all I smell. When you come over to my house, that's all I smell.
Yeah, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. when it's in your clothes and everything, and you smell like a damn walking ashtray.
Yes.
Yeah, that ain't.
And that's what a lot of people, and it's not just, I know I mentioned marijuana, but it's not just with marijuana, it's just with anything that gives off smoke. So let's say, and I hated this as a kid. Oh my gosh, how I hate it. And this is why people can't fry foods in my house. If you have poor circulation and ventilation in your house and you tend to fry a lot of foods, that scent gets stuck in the air and it gets stuck in your clothes. I remember going to school, man, putting on my coat. I'm like, damn, why do I smell like fried chicken? And I hated that mess. I hated it. So that's one of the reasons why I don't fry food in my house. If somebody wants to fry food, I got a huge front porch. I got the backyard. You can fry it out there to your heart's content. Yeah, air fryers work too. And yeah, because there's no grease. So yeah, I need to get one. I saw something advertised on Facebook. It was a two-sided not microwave oven, two-sided oven that had air frying capabilities. So I might end up having to check that out. But food prep. Do you like a lot of seasoning in your food, or do you like minimal seasoning? Man, that list is it can be pretty lengthy, especially when you get down to certain things, idiosyncrasies with people. Like someone would say, "Why do you always have to wear a hat everywhere you go?" Because that's what I do. That's part of who I am. Well, I don't want to see you in no hats. I remember years ago, say about 14, 15 years ago. Was dealing with this one female. She's like, oh no, you got to change your wardrobe. What? And you can't be wearing those suits if we go out. What? Nah, those are pimp colors. Oh yeah, you lost your goddamn mind. No, this is who I am. I like my colors. I like my pastels, and if you don't like them, you don't have to be seen with me. But I'm not changing them. She want me to go to the drab black, blue, and gray. I'm like, nah, those are boardroom colors. While I would mind being a CEO, I'm not gonna dress like one if I'm not, and I'm certainly not going to dress like one if I'm not on the job. I'm like, that's just absurd. And then you got some people, you mentioned Jay's earlier. You got some guys that don't own dress shoes. They only own jeans and J's. So what if she wants to take them to a wedding? What if she wants to take them to an upscale restaurant where they don't allow that? They have a dress code. What is he gonna wear? He says, no, I don't wear shoes. Shoes are for clowns. I don't wear dress. What do you do? I mean, it sounds funny, but let's be real here. You got some men of certain demographics and certain ways. They won't dress up. They refuse to dress up. What do you do?
That's funny. It reminded me, and it's totally different. And I've chronic chronicled and talked about the reason why I really wore hats and stuff because of my birthmark. But at work and stuff, it's not like I walk around with a hat on. So every so often kids ask you like, oh, Mr. Glover, what's that on your head? Like today, a sixth grader asked me, Mr. Glover, what's that on your head? I said, a birthmark. He said, is it that big? Yeah. And then I said, what's that on your face? And he said, because I told you, I snapped back. I said, what's that on your face? He said, my face. I said, oh, oh wow. And we kept walking. Then he was like, well, no, it's just because it's like big and all that. But then I, gave him a little touch control, pat him on the shoulders. I said, the ladies like it. And then he said, I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to argue with that. and then we just went out separate ways, whatever. But I had to mess with him a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, the value thing is it's real. I mean, and then we can get into the monetary aspects of certain things. And this is a topic that came up last week. The holidays are coming up. What's the appropriate amount to spend on the Christmas gift?
I already told y'all. I told y'all. Do you need to go back? I ain't clip it, but do you need to go back?
And Thanksgiving is coming up. Where do you spend Thanksgiving at? Her family, your family? Go first, or do y'all just plan something at home and have a Friendsgiving? Because this time coming up, and this is on a more of a serious note. This time coming up is higher in self-deletions than any other time of the year. People don't get along with their families, their in-laws. This is why the whole Friendsgiving came up. So if that's the case, if you have a mate that doesn't get along well with their family, don't push them to go. Leave them alone. Let them deal with that. And whatever decision they make, you abide by it. You're there to support them in whatever it is that they're going through in that regard. Conversely, now, if you want to go to your parents' home and you know that either your mother, father, or whoever it is don't like your choice in your mate, don't take them. Don't subject that individual and yourself indirectly to something that's going to make them miserable. It's only the day. Don't make it worse than what it could be. If you have to go to your family alone, go to your family alone. Leave him at home and let him go to his family, and y'all meet back up. I'll deal with that comment in a moment, Dave. If you don't want to deal with, or y'all don't want to deal with each other's family, go your separate ways, and then y'all meet back up at home. And when somebody asks, "Hey, he's at his family's house, so why didn't he come here?" We thought it would be better, and be honest. Don't sugarcoat things. Don't hide things from your family because that's when they think you're lying. So hey, this is what it is. I know you don't like him. He's my choice. You don't have to like him. My choice. So he's at his family's. I'm here, and that's all we're gonna discuss about it. Sometimes you have to put your foot down with your own family in order to gain a measure of peace. And some people refuse to do that. And that, as far as I'm concerned, is a bigger catalyst for problems than anything. Is people don't know how to tell their family, "Yo, look, mind your motherfucking business. He, I'm dating him, not you. And if we get married, he'll be married to me, not you." You want to have something?
No, I was just thinking the whole thing is crazy when you think about these times and you say to yourself, a person can't go somewhere because this person doesn't like them, but they probably don't even know anything. They only could dislike probably with if it's something that you told
Mm-hmm.
them about, unless they that person came around and they kind of observed them and they was like, okay, I don't the way they moved, or they noticed like, okay, they came in, they drank too much, they were
Mm-hmm.
rude, kind of
Mm-hmm.
standoffish, or something like that. And then that, and if that is the case, uh, and it's early in a relationship and multiple people said it, then you may have to look in the mirror or question yourself, like, is this person like, damn, is it just me, or is it like, damn, all my family said the same thing? Now we know people say, some families got the biggest haters in there, and whatever the case is, but the whole dynamics is just crazy. So you won't have no perfect situation, but I guess if you're a person and you sense that somebody doesn't like you, you probably gonna be like, "Oh hell no, they ain't going over there." In fact, they ain't never going over your people house when something go down. And if somebody's saying that and you really wholeheartedly believe it, then that's probably gonna be an issue down the road that they'll never come to any functions of yours. Uh, but I guess if you like it, other people will love it. But that's something to think about, because there are some people who put it out there. Oh, after that treatment or the way they were, I ain't never going back there. Never going back there. Then, it could get to a point that if y'all have a kid or whatever, they'll say, "Oh, they going to my family house. They ain't never going over there
Yeah.
either."
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So it gets wild, it gets testy, but all of this stuff is basic stuff. It start off, and we always talk about little things lead to big things, and and that's how you have these whole family feuds.
Yep. Let me read this by Anita Sweetie. She says, "Hold up, Herbert, Lewis Herbert. How you gonna change her wardrobe, but you don't change yours for hers?" Laughing my ass off. Easy. I'm willing to pay for a new wardrobe. Most women aren't. Now, if a woman doesn't like my clothing, well, she's free to take me shopping. Dr. Dunbar said nobody's gifting this year because of the inflation. Hey, but rarely, if ever, has any woman ever made a negative remark about the clothing I wear. At this age, my wardrobe, I still got my hats upstairs in the bedroom. They ain't went nowhere. um, Rarely has any woman ever made a negative comment about the clothing that I wear. And you know what? The funny thing about that is, I haven't bought anything new in at least a decade. But it ain't so much about the clothing, so much as about the man and how he wears the clothing. This bucket hat you see right here, this thing is about 14, 15 years old. But you know, when I wear them out in public, I get nothing but praises. $6 hat. But that makes you
I thought you was locked up, Vicky. I thought you was doing some time.
Jesus don't need to take the wheel. I'm riding with the devil. I'm riding with the devil. And the devil riding shotgun. Because I'm too hot to handle. What did Bobby Brown say? I'm too hot to handle, too cold to hold. I'm serious when I say that about the way I dress, though. No woman has ever said, you know what? You need to take that back to the store. You need to do this. You need to do that. I'm a very presentable dresser. So I don't have a problem with the clothing I wear. And 99.9% of women don't either. And if they do, guess what? They got bad taste.
What Anita says she's gonna buy you?
A black, gray, and blue gargoyle turtleneck sweater for my birthday. And I better wear it. Well, I mean, as long as I have something to pair with it, sure. I don't know if I have anything that let's see, black, gray, and blue. I would have to look at my jerseys. That sounds like it's close to cowboy colors, so I might be able to finesse that. I'm versatile.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we still talk. We're still
Values.
talking about the shared values,
Yeah.
and I had some, but we kind of covered that. This, similar interests and hobbies, compatible lifestyle choices, uh, shared life goals and values, mutual respect for differences, and support for personal growth.
Mhm.
All things that you have to consider. Uh, and if it becomes too much of an issue, then we already know. Like my grandmother said, you go one way over the bridge and they go the other way. Simple as that. No need to be ready to put your hand around somebody's neck over that. And as my grandfather would say, if you got to put your hands on them, got to leave.
Yeah.
You got to leave. And a lot of times people don't know that these domestic stuff be over values, uh, things that's deeply rooted in you and no one, and you're in a relationship with someone, but nobody wants to give any ground. Nobody wants to improvise or compromise. So y'all just both poking your chest out, going at it toe to toe to someone, and it ain't always men. Sometimes women quick to throw their hand back and ready to swing on a man, and this is what happened. So, y'all should have probably somebody should have went over that one side of the bridge a long time ago, before you even got to that point. But it happens. Shared values.
Yeah. I mean, this is it really is as deep as the Marianas Trench or the Challenger Deep, but because most people they're superficial, they're not willing to sit there and have that tough conversation. As David said, people end up fighting over stuff that really, should have said, okay, you know what? You go left, I'll go right, and between we shall never meet. I mean, I heard this when I first heard this term. I was like, is it really a thing? And then as I listened to the individual speak more, I was like, apparently it is, and it's called FOMO, FOMO, fear of missing out. And because of that, I think Rollo Tomasi, I heard him say that. So shout out to Rollo. A lot of people will bite their tongue and compromise their values. And when you start to do that, you become resentful. And resentment in a relationship, the rational male, there it is. All right. Yeah, I got to get that book too. I got to get it and read it. See, people, and this is the thing that I like, because David had no idea I was going to say that, because I didn't have an idea I was going to say that. So when we talk about these things and we talk about the people and the concepts, these things are ubiquitous if you are in the know. So when I mention people like Rollo Tomasi, he has, not only does he have the Rational Male, he has a lot of other books. We talked about Alan Roger Curry and Mode 1. Obsidian has books out there. Matter of fact, Obsidian has his third book out. Shout out to you, Obsidian. Good work, man. Go read these books. Matter of fact, Dr. Orion Taraban, I mentioned him a couple weeks ago. He has a book out called The Value of People. He was introduced to me by, shout out to BGS. So people, when we bring these things to you, it behooves you to at least check them out. Orion Taraban has he's a doctor of psychology. He has a YouTube channel. Go check out the information he posts.
No, Herb, they don't want to do the initial work. They got to wait for it to spread on TikTok and things like that. Remember how you used to bring up Kevin Samuels and nobody knew. Then all of a sudden people, the popularity heightened, but you have been talking about it for years. What people don't know, even Homegirl, Princella, whatever. Yeah. We were the first ones that she ever debated with on our we went on her show. Yeah. We were the first ones. Then she slayed everybody else. It started off with me, and then she slayed everybody else.
Yeah.
And this is what happens. But you can't wait. People wait till something gets to its top level when someone's been trying to school them on certain things before, but they wait to, the lingo and all the different things come out with that particular individual, and then that's when they grab hold of it, and you're like, well, I've been trying to school you on that years ago, and you just catching on.
Vicky says, I haven't been in jail this year. Thank you very much. But man, this values thing, and I'll throw this one out there for the sake of discussion, because it happens, actually. Let's say somebody, and I believe I mentioned this last time, girls' night out, fellas' night out. What's an appropriate time to come home? And if that barrier is breached, what's the protocol? Let's say one of you had too much to drink, so you didn't want to drive home, you didn't take an Uber, you don't have the app, or whatever the case is. So you crash at a friend's house. Is a protocol that you call and notify the other individual involved in the relationship that you too drunk, you couldn't get a ride home, so you just crash in there for the night? Or do you just not say anything? Those type of things cause disharmony in a relationship. Some people, I was up all night worried about you. I was checking hospitals. It's like, yo, wasn't that serious? To them, it might be. To you, it may not be. You may just dismiss it. Look, I just drank too much. I had one too many shots, and I didn't want to drive home and get a DWI. So who's wrong? Who's at fault? How does the issue get resolved? Or does it turn into a bigger problem to where, well, I said to say, how does the problem get resolved? Or does it turn into a bigger issue where you two part ways? Because that's a deal breaker. A lot of people, they refuse to put the deal breakers out. Because some people say, well, why in the world do you want to do that to somebody you just first meet? Because you don't want to waste time. Why sit there and deal with somebody and not deal with them honestly? Why sit there and have your time wasted or be manipulated into thinking that the individual you found is actually the individual that you want, that you're compatible with, only to find out 4 months later that you two aren't compatible at all? You know, he likes to stay out, smoke weed with his boys. Oh, and by the way, he lost his job. He can't get unemployment because he violated workplace rules. So now you got to carry the weight. You still want to stay with this dude? He got a weed habit. He like to drink. Oh, and he ain't working now. He got no prospects, no nothing. He's not getting unemployment. Sound kind of dicey to me. I'm just saying. Oh, and he don't cook and he don't clean up, so you got to walk into the house with dirty socks all over the place while he's on the PlayStation. Yeah, he's a mad kid.
Let me see what Vicky talking. When I get home, if the police or hospital didn't call, I'm good. They understand the rules.
but that's what I mean. The discussion's been had. So, like you said, they understand the rules.
Yeah, and I look at it like values should change as you get over, especially as far as extracurricular activities are going out. Like, to me, but then I look at my crew. We were wise beyond our years back in the days. We never wanted to be someone. So we never wanted to be people that spend 3-4 hours in the same spot. Is that the football?
Yes, sir.
We never wanted to be someone that would be to be in the spot for 3-4 hours, just spending money, and we always used to try to think smart. So for people, when you get a certain age, and you 40s and 50s, and you start off your evening early, and you going from bar to bar to bar, that's not the look of 40 or 50 year. That's not that's not that's something that should be happening to me. Like even in my early 20s, I should be like, hey, let's get in, let's get out. Let's get in, let's get out before the drama hit. Yeah, because shit is real. And again, I never want to be somewhere just I like to have some type of control. So I never want to be somewhere 3, 4, 5 hours in the same spot, just buying drink after drink after drink, when simply you could have been somewhere, hey, at each other's house or whatever, and everybody bring their own thing, and you're in the comfort of your home. And that's why a lot of people get caught up in some crossfire type stuff, whatever, too. So you have to consider that. So some people value safety with a person. I like to know that you're safe. And you can't say like you're invincible. Nah, I'm good. I've been doing this, whatever. This is what we do. This is what we do. And well, sometimes you have to change up what you do. And it's just a matter of choice and a matter of how much that person means to you for you to say, "Yeah, I'm not going down that road anymore. I'm not doing that anymore because I found somebody that's interested in me and they care about me in different ways that no one ever cared before." So you have to think about that as well when you think about your values. Now, if you step fast, you like, I do what I want. I'm grown. I hang out. I do this. I do that. I've been doing this. As my grandmother would say, they need to go one way, and you go the other way.
Yeah.
If it's like that,
Yeah.
so that was shared values. I think we got a lot out of that. Y'all understand the message as far as that. So let's move on to, and I know you had added something that was kind of similar to this
Yeah.
last Monday, physical connection. That's big. It's big. You can be nice as hell. You could be the perfect gentleman, the perfect woman, but if that physical connection ain't working, where do you go? And I'm just gonna drop a few little pointers, and I'm gonna let the big bad wolf talk about physical connection, mutual attraction. Are you attracted to this person, or did you hit him? He grew on me. She grew on me, or it was something by all my friends have a man. He's there, so I started talking to him. Really, really. Uh, Consensual intimacy. Damn, do y'all both want it, or is it somebody forcing themselves on it? Like, I did this, I did that. Oh, I can't get a kiss. I can't do this or do that, and you feel like obligated, but you don't feel right doing it. That man can't. He don't float your boat, or she don't float your. She don't float yours. Is it consensual? Uh, Physical affection, hugs, like sometimes, and I've posted um funny stuff over the years about hugs, holding hands, and it may be someone that hands look horrible, and you're like, I don't want to hold his hands, and all he has is nubs, and he doesn't take care of them. And then, people will come back, well, maybe it's the type of job that he has or whatever. But I'm like, nah, that ain't those type of hands. Those ain't those type of hands. Like, thanks for trying to clean that shit up, but that ain't those type of hands. So and guys may feel a certain way. Like, okay, you call yourself, wearing nail polish, this and that, but every time I come here and the shit chipped and undone and unkept and all that stuff, here, throw some of these tube socks on. So is there a physical affection, or is there some barriers to stop that make you don't want to hug, don't want to kiss? You knew he had a rotten tooth. You know that shit stank. You know you weren't gonna be twirling your tongue around his mouth, whatever, and hit that bad too. You knew that. Are there barriers that's gonna stop you? And all right, I'm almost done. I'm gonna pass the mic. Respect for boundaries. We talked about that a lot. That comes up a lot of times. Boundaries, respect. So any of these standards, boundaries, is going to be a part of it. And then communication about desires. And do y'all communicate? Do y'all talk about it? A lot of that may happen in initial conversations when you get to that point of talking. Now, if y'all just met and y'all just started talking and he's saying, oh, I want to eat you and all of that stuff.
Put it on the table.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Yeah.
put it on the table.
In certain instances, you can do it,
Put it
but
on the
again,
table
you got to
now.
know your personnel too. You got to know your personnel too. So it could be somebody that you already know, but y'all just finally like, okay, now it's some things happening between us, and you might feel comfortable saying it or whisper in her ear at a function or something, and she may say, whatever, like, but she's comfortable with it, but because she knows who you are, knows your family, knows everything, so they're fine. But if it's, like a random person you just met, it may be your approach may be different, but surely conversations about desires and all that stuff should be brought up, and it might intensify the moment the more you speak on it and talk about it, if it's genuine or whatever the case, and not just like gross or like, okay, it's too much. That's every conversation or every reference is sexual and all of that stuff. That might be a tad bit too much for shit, man or women. So who knows? So that's all I have. I'm gonna let you have this one, Herb. Now.
The reason why I say put it all on the table is this. There's nothing worse than two people having a mismatched sex drive. Okay. So even if you are, let's say you two are just smitten with each other physically, you can't keep your hands off each other. The scent that she wears makes you amorous. The scent that she wears makes you want to do things right there. You don't want to wait. You reaching below her skirt. She stop. You say, damn, you disrupting my vibe, girl. You a wet blanket. Well, had y'all had that discussion prior, you would have known she don't like those type of things. At least not in public. She says, wait till we get home. What if we want to do something in the back seat of the Jeep? But she's not that type of girl. Conversely, what if you want to break him off while he's driving? But he ain't that type of guy. What if you want to do something, you feeling a little adventurous? You whisper to him, "Hey, look, I'm not wearing any underwear." Now you expecting him to do some things, but he doesn't. Pardon the pun. He doesn't rise to the occasion. Your night's ruined. So y'all get back in the car. You got the sour face. She says, "What's wrong with you?" Nothing. Now he knows something wrong. He just doesn't know what. So he asks again, "What's wrong with you?" You didn't do anything. We're in public, so she thinks you're not physically attracted to her because the last guy she was with, when she presented that to him, guess what? He jumped all in it. Found a broom closet, and they had some fun. They got the waxing and cleaning, surfaces. That's her expectation now. So when she does something like that, she expects to be taken quote unquote advantage of. That didn't happen. Now, let's say she's one of those people that David just likes. She likes to hold hands in public, but you don't like to hold hands because you do construction work. You got rough hands. So anytime you touch a woman, put some moisturizer on your hands. Come with me to get a pedicure so they can get them calluses off your hands so you can touch me more. But you don't want to do that. It's ruin your physical connection. That's what she wants. She wants back rubs. but she don't want to feel sandpaper on her back. You like to rub feet? I know, Dave. You want to rub feet, but she don't want them rough ass hands on her feet. She want her feet rubbed. She just don't want your rough ass hands. So what are you gonna do? You got chapped lips. She don't want them chapped lips all over her body. What are you gonna do? You got dry feet, but you refuse to go get a pedicure done. What are you gonna do? Yeah. You know, she likes to go hair in her armpits. Everything about it was great, and you found this out. So what are you gonna do? She likes to wear a boatload of makeup. If you don't like makeup, but everything else is about her is a mix. She got that nice round exterior posterior. The memories are in place, but she goes hair in her armpits. She don't smell. You can't mess with it. It just throws off the whole vibe. What are you gonna do? She wear bonnets to bed. You don't like them. What are you gonna do? She has hair pieces that she wears every other day. You don't like the fake stuff. What are you gonna do? She wears fake eyelashes to remind you of an ex who was for the streets. And anytime you see fake eyelashes, it just makes your skin crawl. What are you gonna do? When you met her, it was at a function, a black tie event. She was dressed well. But the next time you see her, she has on the skirt so short that every time she takes a step, she got to pull it down. What are you gonna do? All these things are physical connections that can either make or break a relationship. She likes certain things. They're in romper room time, shall we call it? But you don't like it. What are you gonna do? He likes certain things during romper room time, but you don't. What are you gonna do? She likes to talk before y'all do things. That gets her in the mood. She likes to hear music. You don't like Luther? She loves Luther. Luther puts her in the mood. What are y'all gonna do? People got questions, very few answers. What are y'all gonna do, man? Physical. I mean, when you look at physical connection, we always hear women talking about the vibe. To me, I can physically connect with any woman if I wanted to, but there's just a woman that, for me, it ain't worth it. And I'll say this: it ain't worth it because some women are just devoid of personality. So regardless of whatever physical connection we might have, I'm thinking, nah, I got to deal with this chick after the fact. Mm-mm, nah. And some of you fellas, honestly, you get caught up in that physical connection. You get caught up in that physical connection to the point you say, man, I don't care what she look like. I don't care she got 2 kids already. Next thing you know, you get a call 4 months later. She's late. 2 months. You say, well, wait a minute. You just now telling me you 2 months? But it was the physical connection. She had the big old behind, some nice tatas. She was looking good in that short skirt, and all of a sudden now you got caught up in that Venus flytrap and you can't get out. And it's too late. Same thing with the women. He had that muscle shirt on. He had them, them, them J's on. He had them pants sagging just the way you like. or he's wearing that suit, that seersucker suit, real nice. You got caught up in it. You was feeling good that night. He rubbed on your neck just the right way. He blew into your ear the right way. Next thing you know, you singing that Lionel Richie song, dancing on the ceiling.
Or they may just settle for the gray sweats that men wear, I
Oh,
guess.
that too. That too. And the next thing you know, he in there hitting home runs, scaling walls. And you thought it was just gonna be a one-time thing. And now you can't get rid of
Uh, uh, yeah, it's like it's so many things, and I know the physical connection. Again, that's something can change over the years.
them.
On what you do, what you accept, what you willing to take. And, are you willing to step outside your box, your
Mhm.
comfort zone? All of this stuff changes. Some people it may not change. You may be consistent on what you do, what you won't do, but then you realize and you say, "Damn, shit, I still look good. Actually, I'm fine as fuck." And but I can't seem to keep a man. I can't I can't keep a man. But then this, and yeah, women talk like this. This ugly ass broad over here. Keep pulling them. Keep pulling them. And she got a couple of them. And they got good paying jobs or whatever. Again, we always say some people travel the path of least resistance. While you fine as hell, looking good, but you ain't changed. You still doing the same thing when you was 17, 18. You haven't explored anything different. And I'm not telling y'all, I'm not promoting y'all to just be people to be animals out here. You do what you're comfortable with, but also realize that other people may be looking for something different. And and then, you know, you wonder why. Like why you should always could have been nominated as the prom queen and this and that and known to be fine, but you were kind of a stickler with everything. You did everything by the books. You were raised up in the church and you can't do this or do that. But then the one you call that ugly ass broad, shit, she is more open to do different things. So that's that. Vicky says, stay single and live your life. It's always an option. That's always an option to stay single and live your life. Whatever happens, happens. But some people, they can stay single. It's a difference of staying single and being relevant, instead being able to say, hey, any given moment, I can have a life partner for life, or staying single because your options are limited. A lot of people won't admit it. There's few people that will admit it that, damn, I'm single because shit, I'm declining. My options aren't there. Which takes me back to a situation years ago when I was taking classes and I would go to Barnes and Nobles, and it was a guy. And I'm approaching his age. And I think he was 55. And he was like, and his buddy was like, man, you ever thought about and these are two white guys. he was like, "You ever thought about getting with someone to kind of spend with the rest of your life?" And he was like, "Man, I'm 55 years old. Like it's over. It's over with for me. No one wants me." And the thing is, he was real. Some people know that when they hit their 50s, they know it. They may not be able to come to terms and say, "I'm done. I'm out of the game. I'm out of the game." So when I listened to that dude, I was like, and at the time, I think that was years ago. I think I was in my 40s. And I was like, made me reflect. I was there to write a paper, but I think it just opened up my thought process and I started writing, um, even though it had nothing to do with what I was writing about. But I was like, shit, that's deep. That's deep. At 55, like, he was, shit, like, I'm taking it in. It's over. No one wants me. I'm 55. Double nickels. Damn, I'm about to approach double nickels, but the stock is still rising.
You know, it's funny as you're talking. I'm looking at number 8, which is personal growth, and that's what a lot of people when a lot of people get to a certain point in life, they don't grow. Not only do they not grow professionally, they don't grow personally. And in other words, they're not something someone wants to be around, especially women. Fellas, if you learn nothing else from myself and David, I want you to understand this. Whatever it is that you do, keep evolving, keep growing, keep developing, keep learning. Okay? I don't care if it's you learn to play an instrument, you learn to speak another language, you start writing, you pick up a different hobby, whatever it is, add it to whatever you already know how to do. The reason being is because the older you the older you become, the more versatile you should be. Just like David said, your stock should always be going. You should always be looking to go somewhere. You should be always looking to do something, do something with someone. This is why I talked about not burning bridges. Some of you are good at destruction, not good at repair. So you look back at your life as a person who's in their mid to late 40s, you have nobody that you can call and say, "Hey, I'm going here. Why don't you come with me?" And you know what? You don't have to be sexual with them. It could be just somebody you want to be seen in the presence of, or you might like her. You might like her company. She might be something pretty to look at, and that's all you want because you got your other side piece who's going to line you up later. And the female sitting across from you does not have to know that. All she knows is, "Hey, look, I'm going out to have a good time with a friend of mine," and that's it. But some of you fellas still haven't learned that aspect of the game. You haven't learned that every female you go somewhere with, you don't have to do something with because you have the physical connection, but you don't realize that just because you have the physical connection doesn't mean you actually have to follow through on the physical connection. Leave it there. Let her wonder. Let her wonder why you ain't trying to get in her panties. And sooner or later, guess what? If it's there, she's gonna be Joe Montana. All you gotta do is be Jerry Rice. You ain't gotta rush anything. Time is on your side. So every day you live, If it's supposed to be and it's gonna be, it will be. You ain't got to rush nothing. Just sit back. Let the play come to you. Let it come to you.
Yeah. And again, it's probably getting broken down to y'all in a different way, at a different level, but it's real. And I'm gonna go back to reliability,
Mm-hmm.
following through on commitments, showing up on time,
Yeah.
reliable communication, dependable support. Can somebody count on you? Do you just say that shit, I'm ride or die or whatever? Is it just talk? Or is it just slang? Or do you mean it in your heart? Uh what else? Hold on, I lost my spot. Um yeah, and yeah, so basically, yeah, reliable communication, dependable support, and consistency. I'm gonna lead off with because I always say consistency breaks down resistancy. If someone's consistent and they're a serious player in the game and they're consistent, and I think the great John Wooden said it, if you keep knocking at the door, sooner or later somebody gonna answer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in relationships, that's in jobs, that's in any other opportunity. The sooner, and if you're consistent, and I know dating, it could be funny, you could be consistent, but you could be consistently annoying to someone. But it's a way that you go about it, that you have to be consistent. Like if somebody pretty much telling you go fuck off, and then you still texting good morning, you just don't get it. Your processing capabilities are slow and you on a different wavelength. But in most parts, if you're consistent and you do it um, within, decency, being genuine, it'll break down that resistance. Shout out to my family, Big Shank. What up, cuz? Just here, trying to teach the young, trying to teach the young and the old. My man, Jedi. He said, good evening. Good brothers, salute for your consistency, showing up and sharing your thoughts, experiences, and wisdom. Salute. Salute.
Indeed.
So,
And oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Dave.
No, I was pretty much done with my part of reliability. You could add on to it, and I'll chime back in.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of fellas, unless you've actually run a business or have been manager of a business or a supervisor, I don't think people really understand, especially a lot of men, how big being reliable is. Now, for those of you who are fathers and you have daughters, because a lot of boys will, they'll take the minor disappointment and they'll keep going. The boys are a little bit more rugged like that. But excuse me. But for you men out there who have daughters and you're late to something important, that's huge. That is speaking volumes, because for them, that means caring. All right. So if you're not on time, you don't bring something when you say you're going to do it, you don't show up, not how you want to show up, but how she wants you to show up, or how the woman wants you to show up. This is something Anita mentioned earlier about my manner of dress. If I'm with a woman and she wants me to dress a certain way to a certain event, and I don't because I don't like it, and that's what the agreement was, that relationship is ruined. It would never be the same. I don't care how good everything else is. You have already ruined in her image. I'm sorry, in her imagination, you've already ruined what was. And it only takes one instant. Doesn't take multiple, only takes one instant for you to ruin all the good I want to say currency that you have built up. That's why it's important that you keep your word. And part of being reliable is keeping your word. So when you say you're going to show up, be there. If you say you're going to be there at a certain time, be there at a certain time. If you say you're going to do a certain thing and you're going to do it in a certain way, do it. Same thing for the women. If you tell a man you're going to do something, do it. You know he likes something a certain way. Don't try and change it. Don't go to his house thinking you're gonna rearrange his furniture and he's gonna be okay. Don't go in there thinking you're gonna put his couch down and he's gonna be okay. Well, no, he depends on that couch to be there. Why? I don't know. That's his thing. So you want to come to his house, you want to start rearranging stuff because you like it. You done ruined it now. He telling you to get out and leave his key. You say, I didn't do anything. All you did was just change up his home without his permission. He's relying on you to leave things as they were, regardless if you like them or not. Because if he likes you enough, and here's the key, ladies, I want y'all to understand something. If a man likes you enough, he's going to see his personal space, the way things look, and how it makes you feel. So he's going to say, okay, you can rearrange one room in this house to your liking. Here's the caveat. It can't be the bedroom. Why? Because he knows his bedroom like the back of his hand. So he can get up at 6 o'clock in the morning when it's still dark without having to worry about kicking his toe on anything. Go to his closet, turn on the light in the closet, pick out what he's gonna wear, meander to the bathroom, ain't gotta turn on the lights, nothing. And he can start his day. Simple. Men are simple creatures. At heart, we're simple creatures. So one of the reasons why people don't like things rearranged is because it allows them to continue on and just get through their day. It's just imagine if you had to park your car in a different place every. You probably hate that. Matter of fact, I got a story to tell. I think it was what was it? Thursday, Friday evening. I'm walking up the street and there's a guy yelling. And I don't know who he's yelling at. I'm walking up the block. He's walking down. And I'm thinking, okay, either he's on the phone or he's emotionally disturbed. Turns out neither one. He was fussing at the neighbor who was in the house because that neighbor, quote unquote, parked in his spot. There's only one problem. On the street, you do not get to claim a parking spot. But this man was full throat. I've been parking there for 6, almost 7 years, And here you come, just 3 months on the block, and now you taking my parking spot. I'm thinking he's talking in the back. So I said, bro, you talking about in the back? No, I'm talking about right across the street. I was like, oh, let me keep walking. It's none of my business. I have nothing to do with it. He relied on always having that spot because nobody else parked there. Not behind it, not in front of it, but at that particular spot. And he pointed that car. He said, see that car? I said, yeah. He said, that spot right there, that's my spot. I was like, okay. Brother had it honest. But that's a reliability that a lot of men won't. That's a reliability that a lot of women come to expect. So, if you can't be reliable, my advice, don't get involved with anyone who expects reliability because you're going to disappoint them. And eventually, it's going to cause a really big problem. If not now, it'll cause one later. Because if you got to pick them up at the airport and you tell them, look, my flight lands at 10:30 and you don't get there till 12, oh, expect them to be pissed off.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Then that's part of the reliability. I mean, as and I know the airport example is a little extreme, but I'm punctual. So if you tell me you're gonna pick me up at 6:15, I'm gonna be ready at 6:15. If you get there at 6:20, you ain't tell me, I'm gonna be like, okay, yo, you late. And I remember I did that one time. I needed to get a grip because it was only a minute, but that's how I am. I'm punctual. Don't waste my time. If you're gonna be late, call, text, let me know. So I'll say, okay, that individual's running late. That's part of the communication thing. I mean, a lot of these things, they overlap and they almost go hand in hand. But when you look at them individually, you can see and understand why they're different. So reliability is big. You know, you go into business with somebody and they don't pay the insurance. You're at an event and they got to close the event down. Why? Because you don't have insurance. You're going to go to your business partner and say, hey, you didn't pay the insurance? Well, no, I was going to. You were going to. We got to close the event down, and this is our biggest money maker. How? And they're going to be disgusted. They're going to be pissed. You're missing out on $20,000 because you were too lazy or too apathetic to make the insurance payment. All of this stuff matters. It matters in relationship. It matters in business. It matters in family. All of this stuff matters. So the moment anybody, male or female, young or older, starts saying, well, it doesn't really mean that much, or okay, I was gonna do it then. You're not a person of your word. You're unreliable. And that's when people start to speak badly about you publicly. Not privately, but publicly. And that's how your reputation becomes ruined. And people will say, well, I didn't do anything to hurt this person. Are you sure? Because for some people, it don't take a whole lot. It only takes one time. And they sour forever.
And and to add on to that, like I think I did on the promo, said on the promo, if you talk to anybody, we could have a small pool, 10 people, and you ask, why did it end between y'all? I bet you it has something to do with these standards. I bet you it'll tie in to something we've talked about and covered in these last two shows, broadcasts. So, but because we never look at it and break it down, like that. People just go about their daily lives, but we could say communication. That was number one. Shit, he don't never call. He don't do this. I'm doing this. He never follow up with the reliability piece. Um, shit, I want to have sex, or she wants to have all of this stuff. All plays a part. You probably never looked at. No one looks at it and like, hey, let me break this. They're like, damn, because you only deal with, a lot of people deal with day to day issues, little sample sizes of stuff, but they never look at everything that's involved in dating and building in a relationship that you never even get to this. A lot of times you just like somebody because you think they fine, they cute, or whatever. They dress nice, but you don't look at the foundational pieces, and a lot of this is foundational pieces. Uh, and Greg said, let me read this comment. Or you become a Buffalo fan and your rep takes a nosedive. Eh. Yeah. So again, you can't don't minimize anything that's being said. Sometimes if you're someone looking on the outside trying to get in and you've been in multiple bad relationships, you may want to take a look at uh, communication, respect, effort, shared values. I mean, a lot of times y'all do what's those things everybody vision boards, far as careers and all that. Sometimes people might need to do a vision board, far as relationships and stuff like that. New concept, Herb. Throw something with a vision board for relationships.
Ron's got something cooking for you ladies, especially for the ladies, because we've been hearing now, with the advent of the whole sprinkle thing, the men don't approach, all that other stuff. He's got something for you ladies. So all of you ladies who are kind of scared to make the first move, you kind of gun shy, or you don't want to risk rejection, he's working on something for you. He tells me it's gonna be good. So I don't know when he's gonna spring it. I don't necessarily know what it's gonna be about, but he says, stay tuned.
Okay, a lot of people gonna be getting at you, and we're gonna move it on to and I know Herb, you had mentioned it before, but personal growth. Again, you ain't growing. What are you doing? So, personal growth when it comes to dating and relationships, supporting self improvement, encouraging passions and pursuits, respecting independence, fostering emotional intelligence, celebrating progress. These things are pivotal uh, and big because at the end of the day, you want someone to support you. You want someone to be that listening ear when you're going through struggles or it may be a rough day. You may be someone that's, going back to school to try to get a degree, and it's hard. It's hard. You got kids, you're working full time, and then you're going to school part time. And you need somebody to support you. And you maintaining, you holding your own, but sometimes it just seems like, is it worth it? And you need someone to be your biggest cheerleader, not to say, hey, sound like your ass doing too much. Sit your ass down somewhere. You should have did that a while ago. Who are you to say? Let people live their vision. Sometimes things fall in place when they fall in place, and it may not happen until they get into their 40s. That time free up. Might have had children when they were younger, and now it's their time to shine. And you come into their life. What you gonna do? Are you gonna help them, or you gonna sit back and say, "Shit, you wasting your time," or you gonna be negative about the whole process, or you gonna be someone that support them? So, uh, have at it, big bad wolf. Was it personal growth?
Let's look at it like this. Personal growth covers a lot. From fashion. And when I say fashion, I'm speaking strictly of the things that you choose to wear, how you choose to wear them, to your physical health. You know, you used to eat a lot of junk food as a younger man, but now you eating more fruits and vegetables. Shout out to the Gym and Juice crew. You're taking better care of your health. You go get your prostate screenings. Keep an eye on your blood pressure. If you got to get meds, you trying to get off of those meds. Professional growth. Do you go take courses so you can move up in the company? Are you learning how to do things so potentially one day you can run your own company or go into business with somebody? Excuse me. Personal development in terms of during COVID, the 2 years, what did you learn? Did you pick up anything? I've said at least, I know at least half a dozen times in the time that the lockdown was in force, did you learn anything new? One of the easiest things you could have done, picked up a new language. Did you bother to do that? Some of you fellas want to be passport bros, but you don't speak, the only language you speak is English. Could have picked up Spanish, could have picked up Italian, could have picked up French, could have learned to write plays, songs. You could have done a lot of things. Some of these things could have potentially brought you money. Could have learned how to write plays. Could have took acting classes. A number of things that you could have done, and this is for women too, that could have increased not only your employability, but from a standpoint of you being liked by other people, it just broadens your profile. Think about it. Let's say you go to karaoke one night and you kill a song. You just destroy the song. You kill it. And people are saying, man, I never knew you could sing like that. And I say, hey, I've been taking voice lessons or whatever the case is, or something that I talked about years ago. David's going to get on me when I say this. I was taking swing dancing lessons.
I'm still waiting. I'm patient. I don't say wait.
Dance lessons, salsa, merengue, calypso, any number of things that you can learn that broadens your horizons. So let's just imagine you go out of town somewhere and you by yourself. You just went for the weekend just to get away, and they drop the beat. You see a female, you say, "Hey, can I dance with you?" She said, "You can't dance this." Next thing you know, y'all they're cutting the rug. She said, "Oh my God, I've never met a man who could dance like that." You say, "I've been taking lessons." Next thing you know, You got a friend. She says, hey, next time you in town, drop me a note. I says, dance competition that they have. I'd like to introduce you to some of my friends. All because you decided to take dance lessons. All of this stuff is personal development, personal growth. You don't know what door is going to hold something that you might benefit from. David said, if you keep knocking, somebody's going to answer. So don't stop. Just because somebody doesn't answer the door, go knock on another door. Go learn a new skill. Go learn something that makes you more valuable. Don't stop learning. Don't stop growing.
You definitely got to remain marketable, doing different things, and that's the key to meeting different people.
Mm-hmm.
You can't we talk about the definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. Some of y'all, I just sit back on social media and kind of laugh, like, yo, y'all making posts about there ain't no man, there ain't no women, but y'all still doing the same shit. You ain't extend yourself. You still with the same people, hanging with the same crew. You gotta extend yourself. You might have to you might have your people that you grew up with in your neighborhood, same city, but then you have certain professional alliances, and they're doing different things. They're inviting you to different places, and you growing, and you meeting different people, and that's how you enhance whatever you got to do. Because trust me, even in this realm with social media and all that stuff, the people that I branched out and met, even when I went out all the way to Oakland for was it KLJN,
Mm-hmm.
never met these people before, just on social media. And it wasn't even back then in 2014. And damn, shout out that I didn't realize yesterday would have been shit the 11-year anniversary whenever when I went kind of viral and start doing all of this in 2014. So no, 10 years, 10-year anniversary. Been doing all this stuff for 10 years. But I never would have thought I would have bought a plane ticket to go out to a award ceremony, to hang out with people I've never seen before. And we didn't have this in 2014. It wasn't like the camera action and all that. It was blog talk.
Mm-hmm.
You heard people voices. You
Yeah.
seen pictures.
Yeah.
Some videos and all that, but it wasn't how it is today. That, like, imagine if we'd have started off with this
Mm-hmm.
back with cocktail conversations and people coming in. It would have been crazy, but I took a chance, and you went out there and, like, man, I don't know these people, but yeah, you have to step out the box, and again, got to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Sometimes to get comfortable, and that's the only way you're gonna see growth. To be honest, so when you think about personal growth, hopefully you understand that it's going to be a lot of uncomfortable days. But once you get comfortable, it's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to ride it out. That's what I have as far as that part.
Yeah. I mean, there really isn't much to follow up with that. I mean, keep growing. As shout out to Ron Wills says, And he closed his videos to say, keep rising and transforming. And I'm going to echo that. Keep rising your profile, keep raising your profile, and keep transforming, keep changing. Don't be the same thing that you were last year. Endeavor to grow. Like this, like that plant you see. Like that plant you see. Next week, that plant's gonna be bigger because it's growing. Next week, even though my cat broke one of the leaves on it, it's gonna matter of fact, I had the broken one in there, seeing if I could salvage it. Keep growing, especially you men out there. The older you get, the more opportunities should present themselves. Now, I'm not saying you have to take every opportunity that comes your way, but if they are presented to you, that means somebody sees something in you that they believe is worthy of investing in. And that's all you should ever really want is an opportunity. But because some of y'all refuse to grow, you think that just because you got it now, you always gonna have it. Time keeps marching. And I assure you that if you stand in one place for too long, time gonna pass you by. Nah, that doesn't mean you have to run out and chase down every fad or everything. That doesn't mean you have to be relevant to everybody and everything. That just means you need to move the needle just enough to where you're right there. You don't have to be a leader. You don't even have to be among the leaders. You can be in the leader's shadow. Because as long as you near the leaders, you can always reach out and touch them.
And finally, to conclude this segment of the dating minimum wage, red flags. There are gonna be some red flags. There are gonna be some issues. So when you think of the red flags, see, hold on. Consistent cancellation, no shows.
Yeah.
Like I said on my promo, I wish somebody would no show me a couple times. We decided to meet out somewhere and they ass never came. We got nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
We got nothing else to talk about. And again, y'all know I'll say this. Red flags. I don't do friend zones. Well, we ain't buddy. After it end, I don't know how much we got to talk about. Now her may think different, like, oh, we can grow, we can do this. It doesn't have to be that way. I ain't checking for it, but it may be different circumstances. Disrespect and disparaging words, dishonesty, lack of communication, emotional, physical abuse, manipulation, gaslighting. And remember, these are basic expectations, and your needs may vary.
Yeah.
But hey, those are red flags. So, like I said, when I dived in and said the first point that I had, consistent cancellations and no shows. Listen, how many times can somebody say, oh, we gonna hang out, we gonna do this, I'm gonna call you, we gonna get up, we gonna connect on Friday, and you never hear from that person? How many times you gonna tolerate that? What they gonna come up with? When they gonna call you? Saturday night? Like, hey, what's up? Huh? Thought we were supposed to get together on Friday. Because some people they'll do it because they know that they could get away with it, or they know you don't have no other fucking options. So what is she gonna do? What are you gonna do? They ain't got nothing else going on. Ain't nobody knocking at they damn door. So I come by there, I come by there. And that's why sometimes that's probably the culture when they created booty calls and shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That culture probably came because what else you had going on?
Yeah.
It was waiting. Shit, you wanted to get plowed. Nobody was knocking at your door. And he danced and moved around, went out and said, "Hey, I'm about to travel the path of least resistance. I ain't about that. Oh, this chick talking about me and her to go hang out. I go buy breakfast and all that. Nah, I'm about to go right over there, and I'm gonna lay up, and she gonna get up and make me breakfast." And
It is.
sometimes that's where that culture was created. But the no show business, nah, disrespect and just demeaning words and all that stuff. There's really no place for it, but it happens. If you find yourself in that type of situation, you know what to do. You go one way and they go the other way. Dishonesty, lack of communication. Communication is created from day one. It's how y'all handle it. Whether it's phone conversation, text messaging, video chats, or whatever, you create that culture. And sometimes if you create a culture for a while, it's hard to change up and say, I'm not feeling comfortable with this. Hey, you the one. This is what you wanted. Now you want to change it up. So the manipulation and gaslighting, man, that's just something you know you got to be on your P's and Q's because any situation could be a manipulative situation on both parties. Sometimes it's just not. Sometimes it's something simple or small that a woman or a man may be coached on something. Like if you do this, you probably get that. You need to do that. Don't answer your phone. Don't answer your phone for a few hours. Don't respond back. In fact, don't respond back a day or so. If you really want him to come over, if you don't do that, he'll probably come by. And in situations like that where you're manipulating and gaslighting, and you may say, I'm not answering my phone. I'm not responding to none of his text messages. He ain't been over here, but I want him to come over here. This is the way I'm going to go about it. Sure enough, he knocking at the damn door. Where the fuck you been?
Yeah.
Fuck you ain't respond to my shit. What you fucking with somebody else? And you ain't got shit going on. Nothing. Nothing at all. But you got him over there. And you about to get some wood. Hey, that's all you set out to do. You gaslight that whole situation and manipulate it. But that's that. Go ahead, Big Bad Wolf. Add your 2 cents to it.
Nah, I only got a couple things to add. Red flags has become ubiquitous. And just like David said, everything that is a red flag for someone else does not necessarily have to be a red flag for you. Let me say that again. Everything that is a red flag for someone else does not have to be a red flag for you. Red flag for me, she wears certain kind of clothes. That may not be a red flag for you. She smokes cigarettes. That may not be a red flag for you. She likes to dress a little sleazy. That may not be a red flag for you. She likes to go out late and party. May not be a red flag for you. Understand that your values, and this is something we just talked about, will determine, hopefully, what is a true red flag. Just because your friends have red flags for certain behaviors doesn't mean that you should. Develop your own sense of being and let that determine what is a true red flag for you. Now, I will say there should be some universal red flags, and this is going to piss some people off, and oh well. Multiple kids by multiple men, also multiple women, pretty much is a red flag. Why? It says they're inconsistent. The reason why it says they're inconsistent is this. Because they didn't have the wherewithal, and this is my own standard, they didn't have the wherewithal to say, okay, you know what? I have one child out of wedlock. Let me slow my ass down. Let me start practicing safer sex or get married. So that way I'm not running around leaving all these children all over the place for either the system to handle or possibly the mother or father, however the situation checks out, to raise by themselves. Because for me, there's nothing that speaks to me about an individual's moral direction more so than how they treat their children. If you aren't there for your children, how can you be there for anyone else? Your children need more from you than any adult should. There are some adults out there who want to require an awful lot because they've encountered a medical mishap. That notwithstanding, I understand that. But your children didn't ask to be brought here. You created them. So at least you owe them that. And if you can't give them that in the abundance that they need, that, my friends, that's a problem. And that's what red flags should mean. Red flags should mean problems that you don't want to deal with. Like I always say, there's problems and then there's issues. I said that to my manager one year when I was working at another job. And he said, well, what's the difference? I said, problems you can generally solve. You can work them out. Issues, you need professional help. Some of us have problems. Some of us have issues. For the problems, work them out. For the issues, unresolved, go seek professional help. And that is all I have with that.
Yeah. When you just said that, when you think about a problem, it could be a quick fix. Issues is like seem like something lingering on. It might go away, then it pop back up. It's just like a nuisance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we did what we set out to. We covered these standards. It's been entertaining. It's been a lot, and I always kind of like broadcasts where you have the points and you go through and break them down. And I think people, you'll barely seldom have somebody that may hit you up and say, wow, I learned something, or I took heave. But I had watched a couple videos. I think yesterday they was like, yo, don't worry about how many views you get or likes and all that. They're like, somebody listening.
Mhm.
somebody watching. Like, keep doing it. Don't stop. Don't become discouraged and all that. And I haven't became discouraged. And part of it is, uh, I kind of know, like, that who follows me. And, it's typically my hometown, Baltimore. Then you sprinkle in some people from the South, North Carolina, Atlanta, and places like that. But when you show consistency, it also show you trying to be a force.
Yeah.
So we still rolling, like I said. And for me, yesterday made 10 years of when I first came on the scene. In my first book, Cocktail Conversations, came out in November around this time. So, hey, as long as you got multiple things going on, you don't focus on one particular thing. So, for me, hey, I'm still grinding at this, but I'm still working, still providing service to others. So, I'm good, and always trying to do other things as well. So it's been a pleasure to talk about this topic, and we got more stuff in store. Just getting started, but again, if you want to be someone that wants to join the panel, you may be someone say, "Hey, everybody's trying to do uh, podcasts, have it, but I want to get my feet wet." But I really want to go on a panel and talk about it. The last few weeks it's been us, but we've had as many as 10 people on here, just like the Hollywood Squares. It did. People were like, "Yo, I want in," and right now, it's been a change of season. People got their own things. They're doing their own things. Some people branched off and tried to, you know, do their own thing as well. But one thing is consistent. Me and the Big Bad Wolf been here. And we've been doing it for years. So if you want in and you want to come in and add to it to try to build yourself up and at least get some visibility, hey, hit us up.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
Yeah.
And for your people in back in the hometown, Niagara Falls, and y'all ain't invite us to come on y'all show, y'all little and y'all ain't invite us, shame on you. Shame on you. And I can't say shame on. And when I have reached out to people, we've had a lot of people came in who was doing different things in Niagara Falls, come and join our segment. But if you have something and you ain't invite us, shame on you. We'll come through. We'll come through. And that's just how it is. We just got to help each other grow and keep pushing forward, because as I've been telling other people, it's about to be some shit going on. It's a lot of things is happening. A lot of things is happening. Stock market, crypto is rising because of DT and all of that stuff. It's about to be a lot of different things. And what's that, Project 25, people talking about that. So it's a lot of uncomfortableness headed our way. But the one thing we could get out of being uncomfortable is growth.
Yep.
So we got to be ready to grow during these times, because I'll be honest, like I was saying, I'm not one to even navigate into politics like that. But I was like, shit. When Trump was in there, shit was lit. It was live. There was a lot of stuff going on. Might have been drama or whatever. But Sleepy Joe and Kamala, I was like, that shit like a snooze fest. for 4 years. And I ain't saying one way or the other. The only thing I can say is, hey, remain healthy and continue to keep trying to do what I'm doing and keep growing, whatever, and don't let any person dictate or be my daddy, because a lot of y'all, the government is y'all daddy, and different things that they dictate your breathing and how you move. And you're like, well, somebody say, well, it ain't like you're an entrepreneur, you still work for somebody. Yeah, that's true. But I would consider myself having a little more leverage than other people who are frantic about, is Donald Trump going to come? Is he going to cut social services? Is he going to do this? Is he going to do that? Is he going to take away this? Is he going to take away that? Stay tuned. You don't know what you're about to get. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But hey, one thing you could do, keep improving on yourself. And if you're worried about that, then maybe it's time for you to do other things to position yourself to be better. Because some of y'all been milking that system for a long time, and now it's time to wake the fuck up for real. That's my closing comment.
That's it.
Anything you gonna add?
No, nothing, man. It's time for me to get something to eat.
Wings?
No, man. You know what? I got some nachos, my beverage, and some grilled chicken. I baked it, but grilled baked, same thing for me. Waiting. So I'm gonna have that tonight.
That's that pineapple Ciroc?
Nah, not tonight, man. I got my Smirnoff. It's close.
Okay.
It's close. I'm gonna say because I got a bottle sitting in the kitchen now. The bottle's there. It's been there last week, but I ain't cracked it yet. Mainly because I want the lemonade, so I kind of want to balance that out. I want to drink that stuff when I got a couple of days off, so I could just really get into it just enough.
Okay.
And I think I'm off tomorrow, but I got some things I need to run around and do, so I kind of want to be sharp.
All right. It's been a pleasure. Everybody, enjoy your week. Stay focused, be well, stay alert, and remember, it's that time of the year stuff gets shady and grimy. When it start getting darker a little earlier, be mindful, pay attention. Anytime during the holiday season, there's people out to get you that you don't expect. If you can, travel with someone. Ladies, stop going to get gas and shit like that when it's dark out. Make sure you do that. Like if you're on your way home from work and it's still light and you can do it and there's still people around, make sure you take care of that. You don't want to wait till I ain't got no gas and it's 4 or 5 in the morning and it's just you at a gas station. There's some random ass person or somebody pull up. Be safe.
Yeah.
Just be safe and think about everything that's going on in this world. And guys too, you got to be safe and make sure you don't be in those situations that you don't feel comfortable with that could cause you harm. That's all. All right, good people. We out. On to the next one. See y'all next time. Everybody be well. Peace.
Y'all be safe.
All right.